There's a certain preconception in the games industry and gaming in general that grinding is a bad thing, and in many cases where something is recognised as being grinding, you're absolutely right, it sucks. However, I do believe there are some nuances to this issue. Grinding can and is frequently used as an effective component of a larger design. Now let's take games like FTL, Faster Than Light or Enter the Gungeon. Roguelikes like these promise the player a varied rewards on a regular basis, unlocking ships or new guns respectively. Now the reason that these games are sometimes considered grinding is because you are doing ostensibly the same thing over and over again. However, the reason that this works so seamlessly with roguelikes as compared to something like MMORPGs is that roguelikes tend to have randomized rooms, randomized enemies, secrets, Easter eggs, rare events, and in the modern era they usually have a system of unlocking new items or upgrades outside of each run, although I think that technically makes them roguelites. I'm not very good at that distinction, but despite the fact that the core game remains the same, roguelikes promise a varied and unique experience almost every time you play them. Now, I've nearly completed Enter the Gungeon. I've beaten all the main Gungeoneer's pasts and unlocked a bunch of stuff after about 100 hours of gameplay. Now there is technically more stuff to do, more people I need to rescue, a few optional bosses that I haven't really explored, but it started to fall under grinding more than fun because the amount of varied and interesting new things to see has started to dwindle. In order to get to Bullet's Hell, a floor in the game that I've left largely unexplored, I'd have to sit through about 40 minutes of gameplay that I've seen and done 1,000 times, and at this point, it just feels more tedious than fun. Now eventually, maybe I'll come back to it with a refreshed view of the game and things will seem new and exciting again, but for now, they're dull and not particularly interesting enough to make me want to play again. The game did hold me for longer than it would have without the grinding aspect, since I do believe that grinding affords a kind of compulsion to keep playing and trying the same thing over and over until it pays off. Now in this way, roguelikes are inherently prone to grinding, whether the developers intended it or not. Additionally, grinding on its own is not fun. Grinding is a tool that should be used in combination with a full and varied experience. Used incorrectly, it loses its magic and the game becomes dull and boring. Used correctly, it provides an at worst neutral, possibly uninteresting experience, but at best it affords a feeling of progress until the next cool thing happens. If you've implemented grinding purposefully and intentionally, there's nothing wrong with that. However, you just have to be careful of the fact that some people just don't enjoy grinding, and it will tire some people out more quickly than others. Now, I'm very susceptible to grinding. I have a pretty addictive personality. I'm nearly at 6 months on this run of Cookie Clicker. However, many people really aren't as susceptible to addicting mechanics as I am. More true design decisions, I suppose, like satisfying impacts, varied content, etc., tend to be more broadly appealing, and there's much less variance in how much the average person might enjoy it. But, as I said, grinding is, in my opinion, a much different ballpark. It's basically the coriander of video game design. Some people have that genetic thing where it tastes like a bitter, soapy stuff, myself included, but other people enjoy it as part of a tasty meal. However, nobody in the right mind would eat a bowl of coriander. No matter how much they like coriander, nobody likes coriander enough to eat it like cereal. Please, don't just eat coriander, you need real food too. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos that started out as actually a different video, but the segment on grinding got way too big and I had to make it a separate video, and then I added a comparison to an herb that I don't even really like, and I thought that would make a funny title, and then I wrote this really meta self-analyzing bit at the end. Goodbye. Alright, so because I can't remember to self-promote to save my life, I have to add this bit on the end separately, so feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. Do all that stuff that's good for the YouTube algorithms and by extension me. Also, I have a Patreon, so you can get beta copies of Warp Tech for only $1 a month if you so desire. The link to that is, of course, in the description, you complete and absolute gremlin people.